Hello dear viewer! In this video I would like to introduce my current late game Promethium spaceship Casopia. To be precise, I will take a closer look at two different versions of it, because I'm still not sure which one is best suited for my 1 million signs per minute base. The difference between the versions is how Promethium chunks are stored. Let's start with the version from my last video. Promethium is stored in cargo base, and this only works because I modified the game with a self-made mod. Promethium chunk stack size is set to 100 compared to vanilla, so 500,000 chunks are stored easily. It's also important to mention that due to the new stack size, Promethium chunks can also be stacked on the belts for quadruple throughput. Additionally, you can then use stack inserters, which is way stronger and more convenient than having to use fast or bulk inserters. Due to these changes, the spaceship looks sleek and beautiful. After collecting 500,000 chunks and recharging quantum processors, science packs are then crafted in Norvis orbit, which means you don't have to worry about the durability of bidirects. Now, may I introduce Casopia with belt weaving storage. This ship is suitable for vanilla, no chunk stacking. In the upper part of the ship there are now blocks full of belts and underground belts. Each block belongs to 3 asteroid collectors and can store up to 25,000 chunks. There are a total of 20 blocks, which means using this ship we can also collect 500,000 chunks. Since chunks don't stack this time, the throughput per belt is 4 times lower, so we need more belts to transport enough Promethium. Stack inserters are useless, which is why I'm using fast inserters instead. Currently the lower part of the ship is a 1-to-1 copy of the first design. We now need significantly fewer cargo bays, which means I can certainly improve this blueprint quite a bit in the future. Since the ship is now heavier due to the increased vertical length, we have lost some speed. To compensate and to be even slightly faster, I built additional thrusters at the rear end of the ship. To make this possible, a minimum distance from the upper thrusters must be maintained. The amount of fuel being produced was already massively oversized, so no adjustment was necessary. Which ship or design is better? And above all, which ship is more efficient regarding UPS? I created a test world with 4 ships of each design, otherwise there's nothing else to avoid an external performance impact. The spaceships are chilling in Akilo's orbit, and I will do 2 test runs with 4 ships each of the same type to compare UPS. Updates per second, that's the rate at which the game engine advances time. Factorio calculates 60 updates or ticks per second for every second that passes in-game. In a late game megabase, you eventually hit the limits of your computer, and then the game is no longer able to calculate at least 60 updates per second. In the upper half you see the stats of the ships using the stacking mod. Below are the stats of the belt weaving ships. Purely from a design and aesthetic perspective, I clearly prefer the stacking version, which is why I use it. Belt weaving, once you've done it, quickly becomes boring. My assumption is vanilla with belt weaving is less UPS efficient. That's because there are more belts, inserters and more thrusters. And additionally, slightly more resources need to be processed for more fuel. The ships will fly 400,000 kilometers towards the shattered planet. The belt weaving variant below is minimally faster at 421 kilometers per second. With the same UPS, it should therefore arrive faster. As we can see, there's indeed a small but noticeable performance difference. I consistently see higher UPS numbers. The difference is small, but approximately 5 to 10 additional updates. Therefore, the spaceships with stacking mod will reach the 400,000 kilometers mark in real time sooner. The belt weaving ships need a moment longer. Overall, the ships collected 1.2 million chunks in both cases and took about 15 minutes. Due to the better UPS efficiency in accelerated play, belt weaving took about 20 real-life seconds longer. Under normal circumstances, the ships don't have to fly out quite as far and turn around more quickly. I will continue to use the stacking variant, which is a small cheat in terms of UPS compared to the belt weaving. Depending on how many UPS the 1 million signs per minute base will eventually have, I can still switch. Maybe I even have to introduce a completely different design, loading bidirects beforehand and directly crafting the Promethium chunks on the way to the shattered planet, instead of storing them. This version of Casopia and a comparison might be worth another video. Of course, you can find the blueprints as usual on Patreon. Thanks for watching, bye!